Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just Simply Sports here. Or should I say Just Simply Football and Basketball? However you want to word it. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I welcome you. Please hit the like and subscribe button for me. If you're not new, you've been here. I always say I appreciate you. You guys, this weekend has been a whirlwind in terms of the whole Luka and AD trade that completely caught the entire sports world by storm. And it still doesn't feel real, even though it is. We saw Luka land in LA, earlier today. I think he had his first official press conference as a Laker. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it a little bit later to see what he said. I saw a lot of you guys on TikTok going crazy in Dallas. I saw the funeral you guys had. I saw the burning, the graffiti. I saw, you guys are going in. I understand it, right? But the more and more I think about it, the more and more some things just do not add up. So before I get into it really quickly, I'm going to play this quick clip and then I'll come right back.
And then as we turn the page, I think it's important to know that Jay Kidd and I, we've had a vision in the culture that we want to create since we've been here. And the players that we're bringing in, we believe exemplify that. And, we think defense wins championships. And we're bringing in one of the best two-way players in the league. A lot of people don't talk about, what he does defensively and offensively. But, if you can name first-team All-NBA players that are also first-team All-Defensive players. That's a unique unicorn to try to find, and we're able to find that. And as well, you look at Max Christie. He was their starting two guard, guarded all the top players in the league, and he's young and athletic and bouncy, and gets his hands on lots of balls. So we really feel that they're bringing in. They're adding into the culture that we're trying to create here.
All right, so you guys just saw a little bit of that press conference with Jason Kidd and Nico, the GM for the Dallas Mavericks. And can I just say, Jason Kidd was sitting there like, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Do not include me in your thoughts. He's like, we're in alliance. We agree. Jason Kidd is sitting there like, this is my job. I gotta be respectful. But he's looking, body language is like, I had nothing to do with this. Do not look at me. You did not get my okay. You know what I mean? He stayed quiet. Like he said nothing at all. So I found that to be interesting, but I understand it because, like I said, that's his job. And so you can't talk bad about the organization that you're working for while you're working for them. Now, when you leave, then you can say whatever you want to say. Right now, you got to sit there and kind of play the, all right. But honestly speaking, you guys, something that I found really interesting that Nico mentioned was culture. And I said, culture. What do you mean by that? Now, a lot has been made about Luka. We know how talented he is, right? We're not going to sit here and pretend like he's not one of the top three best players in the NBA when he's healthy, obviously. Hell, when he's not healthy, he can still give you 30, 10, and 9 or something, right? So he's just a generational talent, right? But when you say culture, I'm like, there's something that went on behind closed doors that we are not privy to. Luka hasn't said, and of course the Mavericks have not come out and said it. None of the players have, posted anything that kind of gave us any hints or any, inclination of something bad going on. But when you say culture, we know what kind of culture you want to establish, you want to have. Something was going on behind those closed doors between the organization, management, and what they wanted from Luka. Now, I know Luka was up for the Supermax extension end of the season, $345 million. And I think the owner said, you know what? We need to see more out of you. I would imagine, I don't know this to be 100% true because obviously I don't have any inside information. I am not Shams. I'm just a fan like you guys watching the game. But I would imagine that they had to have had some conversations with Luka, maybe his agent, maybe the both of them, a few times in terms of maybe his conditioning, because sometimes people always say, he's slow. He seems like he's not, he doesn't take care of himself. He comes across a bit lazy, all those things, right? So I'm assuming they've had some conversations and I'm thinking that, okay, after what happened last season, Luka was hurt, he still played. And arguably, in my opinion, I think he gave more production than Kyrie, in the playoffs and especially in the finals, you know what I mean? But obviously he wasn't himself because he was still hurt. So I commend him for still getting out there there and playing. But it's obvious he wasn't his best. Now Luka has, had injuries here and there. He's not someone like Joel Embiid who just stays injury prone, and he does play through his injuries if he can for the most part. But again, now we fast forward into this new season, and here we are with Luka again, being hurt. And it seems like it's the same nagging injury that keeps bothering him. So I'm wondering if it's like, okay, you had a whole off season. We asked you to take care of yourself. We asked you to do this, we asked you to do that. We asked you to work on your conditioning. We asked you to work on maybe your diet, work with a nutritionist. I don't know. I'm just guessing, as to what he can mean when he's talking about the kind of culture we know we want to have. Obviously, you don't have it now. Otherwise, you wouldn't speak about it, and in the present tense, like what we're looking to build toward. So I'm like, maybe they're like, look, we're not going to invest almost 400 million in somebody who we feel is not taking this seriously. And I think a lot has been said recently from the Stephen A's, the Shannon Sharps about where the league now is with the players and how like all the drama surrounding the All-Star game, right? How a lot of them come across as entitled. They don't seem like they want to they want to play the load management, in terms of the fans paying their money, and then they come to a game and your favorite player is sitting on the bench or he's not even in the arena because he's on load management. Obviously, ownership has to agree to load management. Like the players can't just do it by themselves. They are under contract. But when you think about all that drama that has been surrounding the NBA, the ratings that have decreased and people talking about nothing but just threes being, the whole entire game, the creativity is gone, the versatility, all these different things, right? I'm wondering if they said, you know what, we're going to set a new precedence here. You know what I mean? We are not going to, or we're going to stop paying players, no matter how great they are, all these millions, and they're not keeping up their end of the bargain. And I feel like they're not going to come out and say it, but I saw something on First Take earlier, and Stephen A. spoke about Nico, and he spoke about his background, about, military background, military school, and I said, okay, so there's a certain discipline there. I never did like personal research on him, but I found it interesting. I said, okay, so there's some discipline there, very structured in terms of what he would like and how he wants to do things. So I say that to say, I think now we're moving toward, and I think this move that the Mavericks made, because they're the ones who reached out to the Lakers. It wasn't the Lakers reached out and said, hey, we want to get rid of AD. He reached out to Rob Pelinka. He said it himself. They had this conversation between the two of them. No one else knew, right? That could be true. Maybe not. We don't really know. You know what I mean? But that's what he said. So we're going to go on what Nico said. For me, I think if players are not careful going forward, this to me may start a new domino effect. It shows to me that nobody is above being traded. Nobody is above being moved on from. I know we as fans get upset because our favorite player is not playing anymore or whatever the case is, or they got traded, but take away the personal feelings and think about it as a business, because no matter what, the NBA, the NFL, wrestling, movies, music, this is all a business. People are investing multi millions and billions into arenas and, having, these coaching staff and trainers. Like, this is all things that they have to pay millions of dollars for. And as an NBA player, you have access to the best facilities, the best doctors, the best of everything. You know what I mean? They treat you like your gods almost, or whatever, however you want to word it, right? So for you to not keep up your end of the bargain, if that's with your discipline in terms of your diet, how often you work out, how hard you work out, be it your weight, whatever it is, then shame on you. Now, like I said, I don't know what Luka did behind closed doors. I don't know how he talks to people. I don't know how he treats his teammates or any of those things. Like I think also about like when they made it to the finals last season. You guys, excuse me, I have a cold. I look a little crazy, but I want to come on and talk to you guys, so don't judge me, okay? Now, I think also about the finals last season when Luka was drinking that beer and he when he just like kind of took it out of his hand. I'm like, okay, that's a grown man right there. This is a celebratory moment. He's not the only one to have a beer or drink some champagne. So why did you do that and right there on camera at that? I don't know. I'm not saying Luka's a drinker, but I just found that to be interesting that he did that in that moment right there where the camera caught it. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I said, let's just say I think maybe looking at no more of the players league, so to speak. LeBron kind of came in, and as he became more successful it kind of became more of a player advocate league, a player first kind of league in terms of the players advocating for themselves and what they want and what they feel they rightfully deserve. I feel like now ownership is getting tired and they're like, look, we're not going to keep paying all these millions and we're not getting the best of it. Yes, they were at the finals last season, but his health, was part of the reason why they did not ultimately succeed. That and just Boston was not, they were not losing again. You know what I mean? But they didn't win. A few years ago, obviously they got close, but Luka didn't have Kyrie. He didn't really have, the PJ Washingtons and, the Dirk Lively's and the gaffers that he has now. So you're looking at how the Mavericks are playing, and they're losing more than they're winning without Luka. And I think Luka's scheduled to come back February 8th. We'll have to wait and see how that happens. But then I also heard something about it depends on how his team feels about the situation. If that's the conversation, I don't know if it's true. Again, this is all hearsay. I don't have any personal knowledge, one on one. But if these things are true, I'm paying you millions, dude. If you're healthy enough to play, I expect you to play. I shouldn't have talked to your team of doctors or whatever this is to get the okay. If our doctors say that you're able to play, you know what I mean? Like, why are we going through all these different hoops and channels? Again, obviously, you never know, right? Luca could have a whole different opinion of the kind of culture that he was helping to build there, right? This, whenever there's something that happens, there's always three sides to the story, right? My truth, your truth, and then somewhere in the middle is the actual truth. But all that to say is I don't want to keep you guys here all night long. I feel like now this will start some sort of a domino effect, ripple effect. It shows that anybody can be traded. It doesn't matter how talented you are. So do your job, do what you need to do. Make sure you're showing up on the court, off the court. Zion to me is a prime example, and I said this 2, 3 seasons ago. Why are you still paying him all these millions and he's never healthy? He's healthy here, he's healthy there. I'm not paying you any more money for you not to be available. I shouldn't have to put in my contract a weight clause. I shouldn't have to put in my contract a body fat clause, under this percentage, stay under this weight. That to me says you are not disciplined. You simply don't care. And if you don't care, why should I care to keep investing millions into what I think you can be when I'm not actually seeing it on the court? You know what I mean? So to me, if Luca can get it, it shows that anybody can get it. And just know that you are not safe no matter how talented you think you are or you rightfully so are. It is what it is. What do you guys think, though, about the move that the Dallas Mavericks made? Do you agree with the fact that perhaps maybe there was something that Luca was doing behind the scenes we don't know about? Or are you of the mindset, I don't really care what he was doing. He's just so damn phenomenal. You take whatever he's giving you and you be happy with it and you keep him on your team. I look forward to reading your comments, of course, you guys, and I will see you in the next video.